I promised to share my breakdown. I break down the market, and I was thinking on what pair. Then I've been hearing about USDJPY. We are going to use USDJPY. Man, this is crazy. This pair is on a crazy zone right now. Woo! Okay, so we're about to analyze this. It's not my YouTube. I said like and subscribe, hit the hit the share button, but nah, just kidding. So what I do and how I analyze from top and down is I love what is called a line chart, and I use a line chart from the higher time frame coupled with the candlesticks, go to the lower time frame to decide what we are going to be waiting for or doing in the market. So no, I haven't analyzed this pair, it's blind. So let's get into it. Now mind you, this is monthly. This is a monthly chart, and this is massive information, so this might be crazy, but just to show top down analysis. The beautiful thing is that once you've marked out this, you don't have to mark it out every single time you get in the chart. So what I do is to pick my line, and from the recent data, I'm going to find where the market had taken more action on a single line, anywhere there had been more history on a single line, but it's going to be around the new one to trace them back. So I see one here. We'll still refine them when we go down the time frame. I see one here, and then I see one here. Yeah, I think that's about it. Just three around those zones for now. Mind you, this is monthly, so this is massive. We don't want to get distracted. Weekly, I go down to weekly. Then I find the ones that I didn't find that I can see in ample time. I find them out. If there is any, I think there is one here. Below. This is weekly, mind you. I put one there. Usually I would use different color, but I'll forget about that right now. Then I'll go to daily. What's up? Let's go. I'll go to daily. And the recent time, this market been bullish, right? Been going up. So what I'll just do is to refine this data to places that now touch, like more or significantly, where the market had reversed and did it again and did it again and did it again. Look for multiple ones. So the purpose of this is for me to have an handle on the market. I like to call it handle. Somewhere I can make a reference to, like, oh, look at here, here's major, here's this, here's that. So now let's go back to candlesticks. All right. Now for this UJ pair, I'm used to big screen. I wish I had like a bigger screen, Blow this thing out the water. So this is it. For me, this is it. Now there are minor places that I see, but because I couldn't see them on the higher time frame, they would take lesser concern for me to make about being a point of interest. That might not be what we call point of interest, but for English sake, point of interest. So it goes that way. We've been bullish, established, but remember, what you see are information you want to make your decision around. So when I showed us monthly earlier, I saw something like back in the day, man. I saw something at 16108. Now that point, I have to note that point because the market had been coming down, and when it came back in here, there was a reaction that took it down, and since forever it hasn't been back here before, right? Now in 2025 it's back here, so this point becomes a good reference for me. because if this resistance breaks, then I might be looking at this place as an entry for a support for a buy entry, because the recent information is showing great momentum. So the economy, of course, has been different from what it was here. I would not want to come into this market and tell myself, "Ooh, it's going to go back down because it had gone back down there." Who am I? I'm not even poor, right? So what I would do rather is to keep an eye on what the market would do at the current position, right? So at the current position on our monthly, this is how it looks like in current day. And mind you, in the past, that was, man, 1991 thereabout. This was what the market did here, right? And then it had been going down always. But since recent days, from 2012, that was the lowest of lows for it. It had been making higher high ever since. Taking out the structure, taking out the structure, coming back to retest this structure, taking it out. There was that resistance around this blue line again, took it out. Now it's at the net zone, and prediction to me is that it's probably going to take it out. So when it takes it out, where will it head to? Where should we be expecting actions to be at? So I think that would now make me put another line above here, right? So because this thing has been going in those areas we drew lines, if you can see, came out, took two of them, took it out, came back to one of them, took it out. That's a very great structure, right? So I'm going to bank on that on lower time frame. So let's get down to the daily. So for the daily, this is what I'm looking at. I'm not a trend line trader, but I don't neglect the idea. So I tend to look at, oh, this has been going like this. Come on, don't hang on me now. I need a new PC, guys. It's official. All right, so it goes like this. It's been going up like this, at least for the longest that we can capture on a single drawing, right? That's a very smooth one, if you ask me. Now, it broke out. We had a breakout, a solid one thereabout. All right. Now, what am I looking at? I'm looking at how this liquidity along the trend line been taken out, right? But I'm looking at here as a point of interest, but it's still far away. So I was saying we are shorting for the meantime. Mind you, my bias, overall bias here is buying, right? So despite the fact that this had broken, if I'm going to enter any short position, it will be with a lot of sense, get me? But that is risky. So that's what the daily is saying. Let's refresh that, get good measure. All right. So now I'm going to be more focused on this short time frame, but bearing in mind what we've had in the past, right? So now I'm using horizontal lines to get some area that I see a lot of action in the past. This, I will have taken this, but it's too close, but let's leave it there. So I have this on my chart now. Now you see I have a lot of handles. Now I'm giving the market my own markers to be able to like hold it responsible at those points, right? So this is what I would do with all the my trading strategy. I don't have a name for it yet, but I don't think it follows all the traditional English that I've read online. All right, but this is what I use so far. So is on this zone after it broke out is visiting here now. So will it break out and come visit here and break out and come back to this green level? I don't know. I'm not the market. All right. So this is what we'll do. Well, mind you, this is daily. So for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, has been coming down. But the last time it came to this level, we had that drama. So if I'm going to enter this market bias, I could buy from here and have a very short stop loss because this might just be a major pullback before it goes bonkers, right? And one thing I'll introduce on the daily is to use my Fibonacci from here to there. Now you see we have this at 78.60 zone. So liquidity taken, I mean that is weak to take stop losses out, and then we might have a push back up. But if we don't have a push back up, very good stop loss will be just above the 100, right? So that will be our overall bias on a daily. But to get a better entry, that's when we now go to the 4 hour, 1 hour if we have to, 15 minutes if there need be. So UJ, I think it's bullish from there. The 4 minute on the 4 hours, beg your pardon. You can see this. Now when you go down to lower time frame for the people watching first time, you might don't get confused on what you see there, except you are a 5 minute trader, 1 minute trader. But I won't concern myself too much with what I see on these lower time frames, right? So but I can see this momentum was heavy on the downside, heavy on the downside. Every time we try to go up was too difficult. So it will be hard for me to want to make my entry right now. The risk will be too high. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for a change in structure in the lower time frame to establish my, change into that direction. All right. So for 1 hour, let me go to the daily and stop my Fibonacci from showing on all time frames because it gets too wide and makes my chart lousy. Visibility only show me on the daily. Thank you very much. So let's go to the 1 hour we're going to. So on the 1 hour, remove this opener indicators. I don't really trade indicators. I don't know why when I see a new one on Instagram, I just want to put it there. All right, so here we are trying to look at how this will break. I think I need a drawing tool. All right, so I think we want to see this break. Come on, how do you guys use this stuff, man? How do you get it drawing stuff, man? So I don't know where to get that stuff. I'll just use the line. Let me use my part. So we want to see this breakout, probably retest if it's gracious, and then fill in this gap for a short time, right? But then what we now want to see from there is probably it now starts forming like this. Then I will look for entry to join the wave back up, right? And mind you, this was the trend of the break of the trend line above us right there. So two things can happen. It's either this guy comes and get back into the trend line because how it will, or retest the trend line and continue downward, right? But whatever it is, our bias is to buy into this market. So we buy into it. We are looking for structures on the 1 hour to get a good entry. So usually I might get in aggressively, get my stop loss ready, and when we have this push up, I break even. I do that sometimes. So probably I will do that on UJ. Now, I am having an headway on the decisions to take on this market, right? Now, what are the other things I would want to do before I make a decision on, or should I set my perimeters for the market to pull me when it's ready? What I'm going to do rather is that, or in addition, is I'm going to go check how fundamentals. Do we have any major news coming out at a particular time that we should be aware of, right? So I'm going on to the fundamentals right now. And there's a news today in 3 hours for the US dollars. This is the USDJPY, right? There is news on USD, a lot of it today. So that might, if it favors the USD, it might push in direction and our buyers might get into action early. One, now I have that bias on my mind. Now, how strong is the dollar itself recently? That's another thing we want to look into. So there is what we call, now this might be getting very complicated for some, but that is how I break down my market. That's what we call the USDSDY or DYDX or what they call it, US dollar index. This shows the strength of the dollar, relative strength, right? So I want to come here. I have my marking on this one. What I want to do is to see, ooh, what is this guy doing in recent time, right? It's also having this structure that looks like what we just saw, right? A breakout of the trend line, taking out the liquidity here, and these candles are massive, right? So it's either it's coming to this green level because we have this as a lot of drama in that area, or this mid level that was in line with the trend line. So those 2 point are point of reference for me, right? Now, when the news comes out, if I see that this wicks back above this mid level that we have here, because you can see resistance, 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 and this is just wicking into this space. If it comes back and feel a bodily candle here, then I might want to join back on the uptrend of what the dollar is doing, right? So a lot of things I'm seeing on the chart right now. So to aid my bias so that I'm done with this analysis is okay, after all that drama, what am I going to do? I think we are bullish, so I'm going to get uh, a buy entry when this breaks the structure and start giving me new structure. All right. So where exactly will I put that? I'll go to 15-minute time frame. If I change that to line real quick, you can see that all these guys are still here to, but has not been making new lows as well. Okay, so that's good. I will buy when we have another pull, or I'll set my let's get it. So I'm looking for long. I'll set it here. Give me my candles. What do we have there? Can even enter now because I have the appetite for this loss. Yeah, and extend it all the way as I break down. So I might not leave my trade all the way like this, but what I do is I'll follow the money. I think I want to buy UJ right now. I think I want to buy UJ right now. Uh, it's been a ride. UJ. Do I have it? Okay. So I think I want to buy right now. Yeah, I want to enter here right now. And I'll pull my stop. Let me see. Back to this green line. TP1, of course, at the trend line. For an opening, I have my TP all the way, my stop loss all the way there. That's 1 to 2. But once we get in, I'll reduce my stop loss and break even. But my bias is bullish on this. So let's get in position. That's a 1 hour. Set my stop. Okay, I'll put my stop here. That's $40. I'll put my TP at 161.087. So modify that. Yeah, I'm currently on drawdown on my GBP position. So good. So that's a lose 40 or profit 142. That's a 1 to 3, 1 to 4 ratio kind of thing. So we've entered the market. We are just going to, follow and manage our trade. And I promise I would I will get videos all the way, whatever I do, whatever I resize, whatever I close, why I closed it, and make that video all so that I can post it. If we run out in loss, we know why we run out in a loss, but I definitely pray this one ends in profit. So that's it. Thank you very much.